You are watching WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. Pioneer Hoops are off to a strong start to both their seasons, and here to break it down, we have Andrew, Anthony, Joe, and Mark. You know, Joe, the women's team took home a big W against John Jay College this past Tuesday. What did you see from the game?
Listen, we compare both teams right here. Listen, they won 66-48 yesterday. Huge win, I think, for the women's team's Pioneer. Listen, getting to the free throw line, dominating each quarter. The scores, the leading scores on the team were really the veteran girls. Take a look at the rebound category. William Patterson won that 47-41. The assists as well, they won that on the offensive end. Field goal percentage, they also won that category too. Despite both teams' high turnovers, the Pioneers did a great job really controlling and dominating the game each quarter.
Ali, what did you see from the Nears?
Yeah, it was a great game for the Pioneers. Rocha had a phenomenal game. She had a little bit of a slow first half, but the second half she was very efficient, very good scoring the ball. She had 3 blocks. Renee Wells, the freshman, she hit a clutch 3 in her first home game as a Pioneer. She's off to a great start. And they held John Jay to just 32% from the field, so you couldn't really ask for much more from the Pioneers. Renee Wells definitely was a standout for me when I was at the game. Anthony?
Yeah, Jimmy, the Pioneers' defense game was chef's kiss. It was great. They only allowed one player to score double-digit points for John Jay, and the Pioneers spread the love too. They had 15 assists this game compared to only 10 for John Jay. Really just a great game all around for Willie P.
Yeah, the ball movement was definitely a huge factor in pulling away in that second half. Mark, we were on the call for the game. Talk to me.
Yeah, so a big thing that we talked about during the game was the second and third quarters. Shooting 46 and 44% respectively in the second and third, that's just a key to winning that game. They, hit their shots in those key middle quarters. That's really a big reason why they won this game.
Pioneers definitely a nice way to start the home opener in the rec center. Anthony, with Drew coming up for the women's team and NJAC play not so far away, what is your key that the women's team and Coach Monahan needs to enforce this season?
They got to rebound. Rebounding is the key to success. They out-rebounded John Jay 47-41. And if they want to win the NJAC, they will have to rebound. Particularly Bree Smith, she had 9 rebounds against John Jay. Justine Cabezas had 7. She's going to be one of your big rebounders. They got to really, really be able to grab those boards and crash the boards if they want to win. Yeah, without
Brianna Brooks, rebounding is definitely going to be a little bit harder this year, a little bit of a smaller team. Mark, what is your key?
For me, it's lockdown defense. We saw some really solid defense against John Jay, but right now, they're allowing 55 points per game, which isn't bad, about middle of the pack, and they're averaging 7.7 steals and 2.3 blocks. That's pretty solid, but you really want to see them take that step up on the defensive side of the ball if they're going to continue to win, especially in the NJAC.
Definitely. It was nice to see the defense really step up, especially because Victoria Palladino didn't have her usually log a minute. She got in foul trouble. Normally one of the Pioneers' better defenders. Andrew?
I think bench play is going to be very crucial to win these NJAC games. I think Coach Monahan is definitely going to switch up her lineups a lot. I think we're going to see players like Allison McBride, like Mackenzie O'Brien, maybe Victoria Palladino, Jade Martinez, Renee Wells. They're going to all be switching in and out on the starting lineup and on the bench. And if they work well as a team and they know their role and they play their role well, they're going to succeed a lot in the NJAC.
It's really nice to see Allison McBride really get back into the fold. She's had a lot of injuries in the last number of years. Joe?
Well, you guys understand, right, how important the NJAC play is. It's a different level of competition. It gets tougher as the season goes by. And listen, scoring, driving into the lanes, right? I like the way how they drive into the lanes, get to the free throw line. And if you want to hang around in this conference, in the NJAC, you really need to score and get ahead in the game.
Mark, I'll start things off with you. Switching over to the men's team, Andrew said they buried the Bulldogs. I might say they bludgeoned the Bulldogs. 67-40 was your final score. What did you see?
Yeah, so it's colorful verbiage there. But, final score 67-40 of men's basketball versus Brooklyn College. William Patterson, about 46.9% from the field, 3 for 20 from the 3, 57 free throw percentage, 46 rebounds, field goal percentage, like I said, 46%, 15 turnovers to Brooklyn's 20. Not bad. But you want to see them limit that. And then on the Brooklyn side, only 40 points. That's never going to win you a game. 18 points in the paint, 30 rebounds, 26.8 field goal percentage. So some solid defense there for the Pioneers men's team and 20 turnovers. So defense was all over the place in this game.
Coach Chapman's really going to have to embrace that scrappiness, the undersized Pioneer team. Anthony?
Let's give Adrian Lopez some love. He didn't play the first game, but he was 8 for 12 against Brooklyn with 17 points. And once again, Jimmy, it comes down to rebounding. You saw the numbers right there, 46-30. They blew them out in the rebounding category. That was a huge, huge reason as to why the Pioneers won this game.
Adrian Lopez, he missed the first game. He was sick. 17 points in this one. He was a huge standout for the Pioneers. Joe, what did you see from the game? What are your key takeaways that they can take moving forward?
I think, sharing the ball and everyone scoring. I get that there is guys in the teams who are leading scorers and who are predominantly, more usually scoring every game, but everyone needs to share the ball. Everyone's got to score. And again, rebounding is huge. We're undersized. You take a look at the NJAC compared to the other teams, we are very undersized. If we can dominate the boards every day, in and out, offense and defensively, we have a chance to win games every time.
Winning games is going to be. Pioneers are preseason number 9 in the NJAC. Andrew, what did you see from this game going forward they can utilize, something they can build upon?
Well, something they did was they dominated in points in the paint and they dominated in fast break points, and those are 2 things they're going to have to do. This Pioneer team is somebody, they play very fast. They're out on every single break, and that's something that's really going to be clutch for them. And another thing is with a lot of their 3-point shooters on Wednesday, they weren't shooting well. So you saw guys like Tyreek Montgomery, Michael Gilmore, and Cody Ripido. They all picked it up. They picked up the slack for those guys, and they were able to get buckets inside.
Tyreek Montgomery, Andrew, I'll keep it with you, has been a key factor for the Pioneers in this one. Talking about his season, what you expect from him to keep going forward.
Yeah, he's looked absolutely amazing so far. We'll take a look at his stats. He's averaging 14.5 points, 7.5 boards, and 3 steals so far in the season, and he's shooting 50% from the field and 30 from 3. He's showing why he should be starting and why he deserves a lot of minutes. And he's really just everywhere on the court. He reminds me of Adrian Lopez and Jaden Cepeda. I think when you pair those 3 together, it's going to be steal after steal, turnover after turnover, and those guys are just going to be out on the break, and they're really going to get stuff done.
He's really impressed me about what he's been able to do on the defensive end. Marc, what are you seeing from Montgomery?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is the fact that he has 15 rebounds in 2 games. That's huge, especially for a team that's undersized, like Joe was saying before. That's big from a player like him. The phenomenal transfer. He's going to get you boards, and he's also shooting 50% from the field. You couldn't ask for a better start for someone like him.
Very efficient scoring, especially with the loss of Dominion. Tyreek is definitely someone who can help fill those shoes. Joe, what are you seeing from him?
Sometimes you don't know what to expect from transfer guys who come in from different colleges, especially community college to, the Division III level. There's still a different competition. But for this young man, Montgomery, he's been nothing but an absolute stud so far in the first 2 games. 16 points against City College, New York, and 13 against Brooklyn College. And listen, he's a very special, talented scorer, and I think he's going to keep, being one of the leading scorers for this Pioneers team and really help them offensively.
Yeah, it's certainly going to help them against a lot of powerhouse teams in the NJAC, like a Rowan, like a Stockton, like a guy Michael Jackson, Montclair State, going to be those high-scoring guys. Tyreek can really contribute. Anthony, close us out on your thoughts.
Yeah, Tyreek Montgomery is everything you want in a player. He can rebound. He's tied for the team lead in rebounds with 15. He's tied for the most shots on the team with 18. So he's aggressive. He can shoot the ball. He's shooting 50% from the field, as we talked about. And Andrew, when you and I were calling the game against CCNY, he took a hit and he was down on the ground.
Yep.
And you're thinking that he's going to be out for this game. But what happened? He comes back in 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later. He's a gamer. He loves the court. He balls out every single time he's out there, and he's a huge addition for the Pioneers this year.
Yeah, huge addition. A lot of guys on the men's team have really stepped it up, and we wish them the best of luck, both the men's and the women's team, in the next week. But coming up next on WP Sports Desk, the NHL block is making its return. The guys on the ice will break it all down. Keep it here on WPTV.